A dying girl's last wish was to meet her hero. What happened next left everyone in tears. Ethan Callahan sat completely still beside his daughter's hospital bed. His hand gently smoothed out the blanket that covered her frail frame. Lily, once so full of life and energy, now lay silent and still, her chest rising and falling in shallow breaths. The beeping of the monitors provided the cruel soundtrack to this long and painful waiting game. She was only 8 years old, but life had already taken so much from her. The playgrounds she loved. The birthday parties she should have had. The carefree days most children took for granted. All of it was stripped away, replaced by hospital rooms for tubes and whispered conversations about percentages and survival rates. And yet, Lily never complained. Not once. She never asked, "Why me?" She just had one wish. One dream. The dream that kept her going through the pain, through the fatigue. She wanted to meet her hero. She wanted to meet Logan Steele. Logan Steele, the world-famous action star and former professional wrestler, known for his big heart and even bigger presence on-screen and in the ring. Lily had watched every one of his movies. She had memorized his wrestling moves, repeating them in her hospital bed for the nurses, earning giggles and claps. She had even taken to calling herself Lily the Lion-Hearted, because Logan always said that lions never give up. But Ethan knew the truth. Her tiny body was losing the battle, and she didn't have much time left. One night, while the room glowed with the pale blue light of the monitors, Lily's thin fingers tugged at his sleeve. "Daddy," she whispered. Her voice was so weak it barely carried across the room. "If you write to him, I think he'll come. He helps people, doesn't he?" Ethan's throat closed up. He was a former Marine. He had faced enemies in faraway places, had fought battles he thought no man should ever have to face. But nothing had ever broken him like this moment. He wanted to tell her the truth. That Logan Steele was just too famous, too busy, too unreachable, that sometimes life just didn't work out the way we hoped. But when he looked into her tired, hopeful eyes, he couldn't say any of that. So, that night, as Lily slept, Ethan sat in the dim light and pulled out a weathered notebook. He wrote. He wrote about his daughter, the brave little girl who fought harder than anyone he had ever known, the daughter who still smiled through her pain, the girl who was running out of time, but never out of dreams. When he finished, he folded the letter carefully and sealed it with a silent prayer. Would Logan Steele ever see it? Probably not. But Ethan had to try. For Lily. And then something miraculous happened. Something no one expected. Ethan mailed the letter and tried to let go of hope. Deep down, he assumed it would end up lost among thousands of fan letters. But at least he had tried. Days passed. Then weeks. No reply. He told himself he hadn't expected one. But the disappointment lingered in his chest like a weight. Lily's condition worsened. She grew weaker. The doctors did their best to manage her pain. She still whispered, "Lily the Lion-Hearted," when the nurses came by, but even she could feel time slipping away. Then came a turning point. A nurse named Rachel had cared for Lily from the beginning. She'd seen too many children fight, too many families crumble. But something about Lily's quiet strength stayed with her. One evening, as Lily slept and Ethan sat quietly nearby, Rachel looked at him and asked softly, "Does she still talk about meeting Logan?" Ethan nodded, his tired eyes meeting Rachel's. "Every day." Rachel hesitated. And then, she made a decision. She snapped a photo of Ethan's letter, took a picture of Lily holding her tiny action figure of Logan Steele, and posted them online with a simple caption. "This little warrior has one dream left. To meet her hero, Logan Steele. Time is running out. Let's make it happen for Lily the Lion-Hearted." Rachel expected a few likes, maybe a few shares. But what happened next stunned everyone. Within hours, the post exploded. People from around the world shared it. Thousands tagged Logan Steele in the comments. Celebrities, athletes, and even news outlets picked up the story. They pleaded with their followers to help grant Lily's wish. And then, it happened. Somewhere across the country, Logan Steele's assistant noticed his phone lighting up like a Christmas tree. Notifications poured in nonstop. She opened the post, read it, and immediately walked into Logan's office. "You need to see this," she said quietly, placing the phone on his desk. Logan read the post, then read it again. And without saying a word, he stood up, grabbed his jacket, and walked out the door. No cameras, no PR team, just Logan Steele. Ethan sat by Lily's side as she dozed off. He stroked her thinning hair, listening to the machines he had come to hate. He had seen Rachel's post. He had seen the thousands of people who had shared Lily's story. And for a moment, he had felt hope creep back in. But hope was dangerous. He knew better than to rely on it. So when the door to Lily's hospital room creaked open, he didn't look up at first. He figured it was another nurse. But then, "All right," came a deep, familiar voice. "Where's Lily the Lion-Hearted?" Ethan's head snapped up. There, standing in the doorway, was Logan Steele himself. Wearing a simple hoodie and jeans, no entourage, no cameras. Just him. As if he had always belonged there. Ethan blinked. His breath caught in his throat. He thought he was dreaming. But then Lily stirred. Her eyes fluttered open, and she saw him. For a second, she just stared. Then her tiny fingers reached out, and she whispered, "Logan." A warm, slow smile spread across Logan's face. "That's me, kiddo." Lily's hands flew to her mouth as tears filled her eyes. She turned toward her father, as if needing him to confirm it was real. But Ethan couldn't speak. Logan pulled up a chair beside her bed and sat down. "You know," he said, his voice soft, "I've met a lot of tough people. But I hear you're the toughest of them all." I try," Lily whispered. "That's what I like to hear." Tears slipped down Ethan's face as he watched his daughter light up in a way he hadn't seen in months. Logan didn't stay for just a few minutes. He stayed for hours. They talked. They laughed. He let Lily give him a new wrestling nickname, Logan the Lion-Hearted. She giggled so hard she had to catch her breath. But Logan wasn't done. He took Lily's small hand in his own and whispered, "I'm not just here to visit, kiddo. I'm here to make sure the whole world knows about you." Later that day, Logan pulled out a small bag. "You and I both know every great wrestler needs their own gear," he said. Lily's eyes widened as she reached into the bag. Inside was a miniature championship belt custom-made. Lily the Lion-Hearted was embroidered in gold across the front. Her breath caught. "Is this really mine?" she whispered. Logan nodded. "You earned it. Because champions aren't made in the ring. They're made right here." He tapped her chest gently, where her heart beat faintly. Lily clutched the belt to her chest as tears welled in her eyes. And then, Logan did something else no one expected. He recorded a video on his phone. "All right, everybody," he said. "I want you to meet someone tougher than me. This is Lily the Lion-Hearted. She's the strongest fighter I've ever met." When he finished recording, he smiled at her. "Now the world knows who you are." Lily didn't speak. She just reached out and wrapped her arms around his, holding tight. Because for the first time in a long time, she didn't feel like a patient. She felt like a champion. In the days after Logan's visit, Lily's story spread everywhere. People around the world sent messages of love and encouragement. Celebrities and wrestlers shared her story. She even received a tablet from the hospital and spent her days reading the kind words sent to her. And then, something else happened. One evening, Ethan's phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Need you to answer this. It's important." He opened the message. It was a video from Logan Steele. In it, Logan stood in front of a massive screen. His expression was serious. "Ethan, Lily," he began. "You've changed my life. And now I want to make sure Lily's light never fades." Ethan's hands shook. "I'm starting a foundation," Logan continued. "The Lily the Lion-Hearted Foundation. It's going to help kids fighting cancer, support their families, and make sure no warrior fights alone." Ethan covered his mouth. Logan's voice softened. "Lily, your name will live on. Your fight will inspire thousands." Lily heard every word. A tired but radiant smile crossed her lips. "Really?" she whispered. "Really?" Ethan said, kissing her hand. The Lily the Lion-Hearted Foundation became a symbol of hope. Donations flooded in. Families from around the world found strength in Lily's story. Logan announced he would personally fund treatments for children in her honor. But time was still running out. Lily grew weaker. One evening, as Ethan held her hand, she asked, "Daddy, do you think Logan remembers me?" Ethan's voice broke as he answered, "He doesn't just remember you, sweetheart. He made sure the world will never forget." Lily smiled softly. "Then I really was brave," she whispered. "You always were," Ethan said. That night, Lily passed away, peacefully, surrounded by love. Her tiny fingers still clutched her championship belt. News of her passing spread quickly. Logan Steele shared a photo of Lily holding her belt with a caption that made the world pause. She called herself Lily the Lion-Hearted. And that's exactly who she was. "Rest easy, champ. Your fight lives on." Days later, Logan arrived at Lily's memorial. No cameras, no press, just him. He stood quietly at the back, paying his respects. Before he left, he whispered, "You were stronger than all of us, kid." And as Ethan watched him walk away, he realized something. Lily wasn't gone. Her story had just begun. This is a story about courage, about how one little girl's strength changed lives far beyond what anyone expected, and how a simple act of kindness can echo forever.